Yeah, they probably gonna try to cancel me for saying this too, but I don't care. Any man who gets defensive or angry anytime you ask him a question, you can best believe he's out of more than that answer. He's not getting defensive or angry just because of that question. He's not just hiding that specific thing that you're asking about. He's hiding an entire system. There's so much behind. If a man gets angry, if he starts to go on the attack, if he starts to act like he got attacked just because you asked a simple question, I promise you, there's so much more, so many more layers behind what it is that you're asking. And I know that you know because your intuition is going to start alerting you. Your intuition is going to feel like this is how it's gonna go. You're gonna ask him a question. Hey, where were you at last night? And he says something like, "Well, you don't trust me. You don't trust me. You always down my back." You just asked a simple question. Your intuition is gonna be confused. Your intuition is going to trigger confusion. Whoa, shock. It's not at first going to say he's definitely doing something wrong. He's definitely hiding more. It's at first, it's just going to feel weird. Like, whoa, where did that even come from? It's not going to make sense because your intuition even knows. There's no way that reaction is connected to just what I asked. There's no way. There's no way. So whenever a man gets angry or so defensive, it's not just your question that's being deflected. It's your whole reality being rerouted. That defensiveness is not protecting just the answer. It's guarding an entire fundamental system, a way that he wants to deal with you, and a way that he wants you to feel like you can deal with him. It's hiding a whole lot more. That overreaction to what you asked and the fact that you did so respectfully, it wasn't nuanced. There wasn't this accusatory tone or nonverbal communication. It's a lot more about what you might discover if you keep on asking. It's a lot more about what you might discover should you keep on asking. Y'all let me know if you agree or disagree with that. If you ever had a man, and I especially want to hear from those of y'all who had a man that if you asked the simplest of questions, he got so angry, he got so upset, he got so indignified, like you just disrespected him just because you asked the question. Hey, who is that you're on the phone with? Who is that? I know you got on the phone, you got a call, and then you went outside. Who is that? Hey, I noticed, you took a little bit longer at the gym today. Where'd you go? Did you go anywhere? Or, what happened? And he started getting angry. He started going on a rant. He started getting all emotional about how, you always doing this and I can't do this. You mean to tell me I can't live my life like I'm some little child? That is defensiveness and protection of something a lot deeper than just that answer. Jamie, you said, I'm scared to keep asking. I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what he has planned. I'm going to break down exactly what this means because there's a few ways we could take this. But anytime he gets really angry or defensive or something, you pushed a different button. You pushed a different button. And what's behind that door, it may hurt you, but not knowing it may do even worse. Not knowing may damage you. Knowing may hurt you. Knowing may disappoint you. But not knowing may damage you. Because more than likely, he's not living in his truth. Like, and so many of y'all, because you're good women, you're going to make it, you're going to think about how could I have said that better? How could I have asked that more respectfully? Maybe I said it wrong. Maybe I triggered him. I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask a man a very simple question and he gets defensive or he gets angry, it ain't about your delivery. It's about your discovery. Your tone is not the problem. Your curiosity is. And the fact that you're confident enough to ask questions that you are curious about. There's something he's trying to dismantle just in the way that you even approach things and in the fact that you will approach things. There's something a lot deeper. There's something a lot deeper. Of course, he's guilty about a lot more than whatever it is that you just specifically asked him about. But it gets even more deep than even just that. Because the issue isn't about how you ask the question. The issue is about what you might learn if you maintain that confidence to ask questions, to inquire about things. Does that make sense to anybody? Like when you calmly ask why he's been distant lately and he just explodes about your constant interrogation, that reaction ain't because you spoke too harshly. It's because you're looking in exactly the right place for something else he's been trying to keep from you. It's not about your approach. That's not what's threatening him. It's your accuracy. You ask something like that to a man, he's already wondering what else you know. He's already wondering what else you know. Because here's the thing, when a man is guilty about something, he's replayed the moment he might get caught 1,000 times over. So the moment you ask something and it feels like, hold on, you already know. He gonna go straight there as if he's already caught before he can even catch himself. Before he can even catch himself. And again, this is a man who's not living in his truth. I'm not saying this applies to all men because, as y'all know, I'm a huge advocate for alpha males. Men who have accepted themselves, men who say, hey, look, I've been in that place where I've had to lie or felt like I did because I was egotistical, unhealed, prideful, etc. And I'm not living like that no more. So don't hear what I'm saying and attribute it to every single man. There are great men out here who are living in their truth and they ain't going to get defensive because they're innocent. They don't have this guilty conscience waiting to try to discourage you from prying around and picking around at it because they're innocent. They're innocent. Now, if you're coming at a man, I don't care if he's good, bad, or ugly, and you are being disrespectful or you already assume something, absolutely, he can feel like, wait, whoa, I don't deserve all of that. But an alpha male is still going to respond outside of you, like straight up just calling him names or something. An alpha male is still going to respond with concern. He's going to respond, not anger, not defensiveness. He's going to respond with concern. Why? Because for you to even come at him from this kind of place must mean that you're not okay, that there's something that has you thinking that he's not safe or he's not honest, and he knows that he is. And his whole goal is to bring you back to baseline where you're reminded of his commitment and you're reminded of his character. Like, so he's going to first be in concern, like, whoa, you're asking this as if I'm lying to you. Like, what makes you think that? Like, I'll open up my phone. I'll open up my social media. But I'm really curious. What has you here? Because to an alpha male, it's you and him versus the issue, not you versus him. That's a beta male. An alpha male says it's me and you versus the issue. Anything that's taking away your peace is my enemy too. Because to an alpha male, he's like, I've invested too much to bring you safety and comfort and to be loyal. I've done too much for anything to come and sabotage that, even if it's your own narratives from something prior to the relationship. I've done too much. I've invested too much here. So who we got to address? What we got to address together? Me and you. You see, some of y'all have never encountered a man like that. And if you haven't, it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're not cute enough. It's because you have not used the strategies to attract an alpha male. Which is very simple, by the way. I mean, I broke them down anyway in my masterclass. Secrets to attracting alpha males only. Some of y'all have heard me talk about this. So you can click the link. If you haven't gotten it yet, you can click the link to get access to the strategies to attracting alpha males, to making them crave you, and therefore repulsing all the kind of men out here who get defensive and angry anytime you ask them anything. Sometimes they're not even doing nothing right then and there, but they don't want you to start. They don't want you on that momentum. They don't want that slippery slope of you having enough confidence to ask them questions. Yeah, they go get, I told you they might cancel me for saying this, but I don't care. Again, just comment the word secrets. I'll send you the strategies to attracting an alpha male. You click the link down in the comments or just comment the word secrets, whichever one is easiest for you. Cause you might just want it to have it in your inbox. I don't know. But back to what I was saying. When you're dealing with a man who gets defensive or he gets angry because you asked him a question, like, how dare you? His question dodging techniques, those are practiced skills. It's not just an emotional reaction. Understand something. He's refined the ability to reduce you and your concern in that moment, to in advance invalidate your concern about what it is he may be doing or up to or whatever. Even if you're not positioning as something that's like just so dismantling to you, like even if you're not doing that, he's already practiced this skill of reducing a woman anytime she has the nerve to ask him anything. Natalie said he literally hates me. Yeah, love is an action verb, but so is hate. And this is a form of hate. Absolutely. I agree with you. If he does this. So his deflection is a matter of rehearsal, not reflex. Why do I say that? Because he's going to try to excuse his way out of it whenever he settles down and he realizes maybe he's not caught in that thing because you weren't trying to catch him anyway. He'll try to chalk it up as, man, I was just, off of work and I thought I heard you say, no, it wasn't a reflex. He's been doing this. He has developed the skill of discouraging a woman from bringing forth her concerns. And the reason why is because he's normalized for his own experience, always having something to hide, even if right then and there he doesn't, which more than likely he does. Because when you got something to hide, it keeps you on edge. It keeps you defensive. It keeps you scared. Y'all ever, you probably never dealt with nobody like this if you ain't from this type of environment, but those of y'all who's ever been around a criminal, those of y'all who ever lived in an area or around people, or you got family members who live in an, ulterior lifestyle, like you know how they are. They're so paranoid. Every sound, every person, they're suspicious because they know that they ain't living right. They hear something, they looking through the window and you ask questions and they looking at you sideways for every little thing because they know they're not living right. When you ain't living right, it keeps you on edge. When you ain't living right, it makes you paranoid. It makes you like almost live in expectation of when you're going to get caught up doing whatever it is that you're doing. It keeps your cortisol levels high. It keeps your stress levels high. Again, it makes you be distrusting of everybody because you know you ain't trustworthy. You know how you living. So when you deal with a man and he getting defensive and he start getting upset and man, look, it's because he know he ain't living right. Notice how quickly he can turn a simple question about his disappearing act. Notice how he could turn that into a comprehensive review of your relationship insecurities. By the end of the conversation, y'all are talking about something completely different, and it's all predicated on you. That conversational redirection is not spontaneous emotion. It's calibrated technique that he has deployed successfully before. His speed and precision reveal practice, not panic. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't. It wasn't just a bad moment, a bad day. No. Especially if he starts saying stuff like, man, you too sensitive. You too sensitive. That's not about your emotions. If he says something like that, because you're bringing up a question or because you have a concern, it's about his suspicious behavior being normalized. Because if you can be convinced that you're too sensitive, maybe you'll try to desensitize yourself to these things that are triggering you, which you're having a normal reaction to things that are not okay when 2 + 2 ain't equaling 4. So with that, it's like, are you too sensitive? This is just an attempt to minimize you, to make your awareness be the problem instead of his actions. His trivialization is trying to establish your perception is flawed rather than accurate because he knows it's accurate. Put facts if I'm speaking facts. Like, y'all let me know. Put facts if I'm speaking facts. Amir says the secrets to attracting alpha males is worth every second. Oh, I told him. They know now. Rachel says he claimed he took his niece to the drive-in when I found blankets in the back of the truck alone at night, but didn't take your own children. Same old games, just a different player. Or they say you're overthinking, yeah. Or he'll say something like, "Oh, every couple needs to have privacy." That's not about healthy boundaries. That's about his selective secrecy. That's about his selective secrecy. He's privacy. We need to have privacy. No, his privacy defense, it confuses concealment with healthy space. Of course, we need to have healthy space. But the fact that it's attached to him being so riled up when you're asking something so simple, instead of him just giving you the answer, it tells you there's more. It's like a lie detector test knows that a person is lying because their stress levels go up. That's what we all do naturally when we are being dishonest or we know we're not telling the truth. Our cortisol levels, our nervous system, it all spikes. So a lie detector test, which was designed strictly to predicate off of this very thing that he's expressing, tells you that you're not being inaccurate. You're not overthinking by recognizing, wait, why does it feel like your meter is doing this? Like it would on a lie detector test. Why does it feel like that? It feels like that because his whole boundary claim conflates that he's hiding information behind the guise of personal autonomy. That's why. That's why. The distinction disappears when you notice that his privacy only applies to specific topics, people, or activities, not to his general need for personal space. Real privacy is consistent. Selective privacy is situational. So his boundary speech is not about health, but about creating acceptable sounding covers for specific areas he needs to shield from your awareness. Straight up. So always extra clothes in the car. Yeah, look for the extra clothes. Look for the soap that matches the soap that he got in the house. Look for all of that. You're so right. I can't know his bills or how much money he makes. I don't need to ask him anything. Says, why are you asking stupid questions? Yeah. If he getting defensive like that, if he can't just say, this is what I'm uncomfortable with, this is why, but he getting defensive and he start attacking and he start insulting, there's a lot more that he's hiding than just that answer. You acting like I'm the bad guy. You making me out to be the bad guy. It reverses who's actually causing harm. That whole victim position he's taking is meant to flip accountability onto you. You making him feel like the bad guy. No, his guilty conscience is making him feel like the bad guy. That's what's making him feel like the bad guy. Lisa says, thank you. Love your words. Coming from a 15-year toxic relationship. Everything I say is on point. Man, look, the game has not changed. The players might change, but the game remains the same. That timeline he got of his defensiveness reveals what he's protecting. So his selective overreactions are going to create a map for you to hidden areas or areas he's hoping to keep hidden. His pattern of deflection outlines precisely what he's concealing. Trust your intuition on that. The moment you have that thought of something ain't right here, it's because something ain't right. Mary says, I'm done. I'm just so upset right now. Now we want to take that being upset to create a conviction that's going to be followed up with action so you can get in position for an alpha male. That's actually one of the things that I talked about in the masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. You have to get out of the clasp, out of the pattern of just feeling away, but now you have to turn that feeling into walking away so you can break the soul tie and you can get in position for your alpha male who's living in his truth, who doesn't leave you to question, who gets offended by you being uncertain about his intentions in a relationship because he's coming that hard. He's that genuine. And he's not going to express that with defensiveness. He's going to express that with concern, compassion, care, tangible steps out of that uncertainty. Even if he's not doing anything wrong, maybe he's causing a perception or he's leaving too much of a gap for you to even wonder or doubt. Like, that's how an alpha male approaches things. And that's the only type of love that can truly keep you safe. If you come in with good intentions. But again, I went in depth with exactly how to position yourself, how to recognize an alpha male in my free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. So comment the word secrets, I'll send it to you. Comment the word secrets to you. I'll send it to you for free. The link is down here in the comments. Carlos Everhart Young says, why they just won't leave? Because Carla, they enjoy getting their cake and eating it too. They enjoy getting their cake and eating it too. They enjoy indulging in you while being able to treat you and operate as if he's single, you're in a relationship. Straight up. And it may not be that he's dipping out with another girl. A lot of times it is, but it may not be that. But sometimes just the mere aspect of accountability that comes in a relationship and transparency that comes into a relationship is on too high of a level of maturity for that person, because singleness doesn't require you to be mature. Singleness doesn't require you to answer to anybody. Singleness doesn't require you to be honest or transparent. It's just all about convenience. It takes maturity. It's a grown man, a grown woman sport whenever you start talking about being accountable to somebody. So he wants to enjoy you while enjoying those aspects of being able to be immature like he is when he's single. And there's a few drivers behind these patterns of defensiveness, because first off, it creates a system of protection rather than in this instance, looking to protect privacy. It creates a system because he's defending an entire behavior network rather than any single event. He wants to discourage you in advance. Even if he's not doing nothing right this second, he wants to discourage you from asking in the future because he already has it on his radar that he probably will. He already got it on his radar. He's probably going to. This is how he moves. He knows him better than you. So it builds detection prevention by explanation avoidance. It prevents pattern recognition rather than avoiding this single instance of accountability. He's trying to unplug your entire security system in a relationship. Even if right here, right now, he's not coming to rob you or commit any type of crime. He wants to go ahead and just take the power out of that now. Does that make sense to anybody? Why a man will do this? Why a man will get angry and defensive and all that kind of stuff? Why that man will immediately, let me give you some examples. Let me give you some examples. And first, let me just check this. Character, you say you make it sound like there's no hope for the non-alpha to change, is leaving him the only option. So, Catherine, here's the thing. If a man is over the age of 30, I would actually say 35 for being really nice, but let's just say 30. Anything he does to change, elevate, evolve is going to come from his self-imposed conviction or a lot of pain. What does that mean? That means at 18 to 21 years old, there's advice that you as his girl, as his woman can give. And you know what? It'll penetrate because he's still becoming a man. He's still establishing his identity. Okay. He's still getting there. He's young. But at 30 years old, he's set in his ways. And it's only one or two things that's going to create real change in a man. Any man. One, a self-imposed conviction, which is basically like a daily deposit into this identity that he's wanting to embrace. So it's going to be a daily over and over and over again effort to change and to shift his mind and get new networks and change his life habits. And that's one way. The other way is a lot of pain. The kind of pain that comes probably from losing a woman like you. The kind of pain that changes, the same way y'all get triggered from being heartbroken. It's like a man, when it comes to pain that changes us even for the better, we have to develop triggers around those things that destroyed our life the last time, that lost us a good woman the last time. We have to develop new triggers. Now when we want to go dip out, now we want to lie. Now we want to hide where we spending money. Now we want to hide who we texting or whatever. The trigger of last time I did this, I broke my own heart. I played myself. Because after a certain age, now we are set in our ways. So it's not that there's zero hope. I'm saying you have zero hope of being the one to evoke that change. You can't do that. So it's in your best interest, because the odds are not in your favor. Literally, that I just think it's impossible of you to just come in and say, hey, do this and do that. It's much better if you get in position for an alpha male who's already growth oriented. So here's the thing about an alpha male. He may need development or continued growth in a certain area, but you're not going to be the one to evoke that. You're going to be the one to guide that. So he's already going to have the conviction and the desire and the priority and the principle and the value placed on being a better man, being a better relationship partner, being a better husband. He's already going to have that. But you will be the mirror that holds up, hey, in this area, this is where, you're over indexing on work. You're over indexing you're doing too much work. There's an imbalance here. You're leaving your family hanging, even though you're really, really working towards your dreams. Like, you're not giving us enough. You're not giving me enough. You don't have enough left over after the day. Like, an alpha male is not getting the value created on family. You're just guiding him to be able to stay on track with what he already values. Because he's not perfect either. But you don't have to repeat yourself over and over to an alpha male. You don't have to convince him to be a good man. You just have to express yourself, and he's going to welcome that because you're helping him do what he already values doing. I know I'm kind of off subject here, but I want to give some context, even though I go much more in depth in the masterclass. I don't want to cheat you out of this conversation, out of more context, because the masterclass is where I really, really break down how to identify a true alpha male, not just one who talks like it, one who's actually done the work, from the ones who are fake, from the beta males, from the broken males who only want to break other people. I really went in depth on that. So if you haven't yet gotten a hold of my free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only, look down here in the comments. I pasted the link, Secrets to Attract. There it is, right here. Or you can just comment the word secrets. You ain't got to do it, and I'll send it to you so it's in your inbox. About 45 minutes to an hour where I go in on how to identify a true alpha male. Marquita says, your classes helped me even though I knew what to do. Oh, yeah. This is why I simplify it. This is why so many people are getting results with what I teach in those master classes. But I hope that answered the question for the one that said, hey, is there no hope for an alpha male to change? You see, your heart, your empathy wants to be a part of that change. You want to believe that he loves you so much that you can be the one to inspire that change. And you might be able to inspire that change, but the only way you really can after the age of 30 is if you leave him and he feels your loss. Like, that's the only way. And not the kind of loss where you come right back a month or 2 or 6 months or so later, because then it's not going to really be that kind of pain that allows the new him to come in and truly take root. But he may have to actually lose you. And I say, honestly, bro, like, let him lose you. He's had enough chances. He's had enough chances. Let him lose you. Y'all got to learn to let people lose you. Especially in this kind of situation. Because a man's defensiveness, when he's being questioned, it's not about protecting his privacy. It's about concealing his patterns. That overreaction is not about your communication style. It is about your proximity to discovery. So the solution isn't in improving your questioning technique. It's in recognizing when the defense system itself has become the answer to what you've been asking. I hope this makes sense. Jennifer says, I love your videos, but should I give up on him? If he has not shown tangible evidence of a self-imposed conviction to be better, meaning in no way do you see, and I talked about this in the masterclass. Y'all are asking a lot of questions I really answered. But if you don't see tangible evidence of him making progress in this area of being a man, being accountable, being a good husband, a good partner, being compassionate, being empathetic, if you don't see him pushing himself, setting his own goals, having and starting the conversations around your safety on his own. No hope. None. He ain't even thinking about it. If your safety and security is out of sight, out of mind, until one, you say something, or two, you hold something back from him that he wants, like sex. If he ain't mentioning your safety and security until one of the benefits that he gets from you is being restricted, or you bring it up, no hope. I hate to be the bearer of real news, but at the same time, I don't, because the good news is once you get rid of the hope that you have in this man, now you can get in position for a man who gives you more than hope. He gives you real results. He supports real happiness in a relationship. God didn't stop making men when he made that one that's disappointing you. Hello, somebody. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Share this right now. If anything I said so far is true, share this right now. Because we need more people who can boldly spread this. There's so many people who are misunderstood. And I get why, because your heart is going to try to manipulate you, not for no malicious reason, of course, but because the heart will isolate its focus to what it wants, ignoring what it deserves. You got to be very careful whenever your heart is in control. You gotta be very careful when your heart is in control. When that's the thing that's driving what you're thinking and what you're wanting and what you're about to do. Gotta be careful. The heart is deceptive. And he will take full advantage of that. If he can't answer your questions without getting defensive or angry, he's not hiding just that answer. He's protecting an entire system, not a single truth. His overreaction is not about your delivery. Again, it is about your discovery. The intensity of his defense is directly correlative to the importance of what he's concealing. If a simple question triggers this complex attack, you're not asking wrong. You're asking exactly right. And that's precisely why he needs to do something to keep you from continuing down that path. You're getting too close to the pot of gold. But I know this is going to offend some people. Not everybody is ready for this message. But if you were able to receive this message in any capacity, like anything I said resonated for you, or you know it to be true, put your money away. This is free. I just ask that you pay it forward. Pay it forward to somebody else's life you might be saving by finding the little arrow down here and hitting that so you can share it on your page. Hit the share button and bless somebody else. I'm your internet brother. You know I got your back. And if you found value in this, I'm sure you're going to find value in my free masterclass, Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. Y'all done heard the reviews all in the comments. Like, it's not a game. It's not a joke. So if you are in the market for a true alpha male, or you want to better understand the man that you're with, and if he is an alpha male, this masterclass is going to bless you right here. Secrets to Attracting Alpha Males Only. Or comment the word secrets. I'll send it to you. Right now, comment the word secrets. I'll send it straight to you. But y'all be good.